Liverpool 4, Accrington Stanley 0. A victory for the Reds sees them comfortably through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be the instant match reaction to Liverpool's 4-0 victory over Accrington Stanley this afternoon at Anfield in the FA Cup, as the FA Cup campaign officially begins for Arne Slot's men, and thanks to goals from Diogo Jota, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Jadon Danns and Federico Chiesa, the Reds are safe and soundly through to the fourth round of the competition after, of course, what was a very interesting and very intriguing obstacle to overcome in Accrington Stanley. The Reds' professionalism shine through. Their overarching quality was, of course, the difference maker on the day, and Liverpool dispatched of Accrington Stanley as you probably would expect. But they didn't exactly have it all their own way, as we will get on to a little bit later. Before we get into all the performance and the results stuff, though, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That will make for great and interesting reading on this particular topic of Liverpool. I'd love to know what you guys have to say on this. So please do get involved. We'd love to hear from you. We'll use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on Liverpool Football Club, the result, the performance, and everything else in between. Right, now that that's out of the way and done with, let's get on with the video. Let's talk Liverpool. First and foremost, let me just say, Accrington Stanley gave a very good account of themselves. This was obviously a game in which a lot of people had their eyes on when the draw was made. Obviously, everybody was saying that Liverpool should win, the professionalism should shine through, the quality of Liverpool being a Premier League outfit should, of course, be enough to dispatch of Accrington Stanley. We get that, we understand that. We understand that this was a huge David versus Goliath encounter, and this time, obviously, Goliath got through. But it still was an intriguing game because obviously the history of it, the location of both clubs, everything along those lines. There was a lot of narrative and a lot of story to this game, which was going to be absolutely huge for when this game eventually did kick off. And like I say, Accrington Stanley gave a very good account of themselves. It wasn't like Liverpool had it completely all their own way, and I think the scoreline of 4-0 may tell a very, very one-sided story, but you know, it wasn't like Accrington Stanley didn't have their moments and opportunities. They were tough to break down at times, and they did have a couple of good opportunities in the second half. They hit the crossbar. They had a free header inside the 6-yard area, I believe, that went wide of the mark. So it wasn't like Liverpool had it all their own way, and full credit to Accrington Stanley for making a decent game of it in certain parts. But yeah, like I say, it was the overarching quality of Liverpool, particularly in the final third, that shined through, even with, dare I say, Darwin Núñez on the pitch. No, I want to try and be as positive as I can on this. It's been a difficult week for Liverpool, and we kind of needed this performance, and we needed, obviously, this result. So, after a difficult week of, you know, drawing to Manchester United, losing to Tottenham in the first leg of the Carabao Cup, we needed this kind of thing just to sort of pick ourselves up a little bit. You can't read too much into this game, with all due respect to Accrington Stanley, with obviously the standings of both clubs. So it was just nice to kind of get out there and see everyone, like our reserve squad, our B squad, whatever you want to call it, sort of get a few minutes under their belts. Saw a few youngsters as well. That Engamoa looks a very lively talent, doesn't he? He was on the left wing. He had a bit of a quiet second half. I think he only had like one moment in the second half where he cut inside and played a nice ball to I believe, Jota, but nothing really came of it after that. But you could tell in the first half, like, he was under no illusion of fear or anything along those lines. He would take the ball and he'd run with it, and he would try and make something happen. He was definitely looking very lively in that first half, and yeah, I think there's a big future for him. There's a massive future for him at Liverpool. I was very impressed with his first half performance in particular. I will admit that the squad was a little bit stronger than what I was anticipating. I was expecting the likes of Kelleher in goal, Kwanzaa at centre-back, Simicast at left-back. I was expecting Tyler Morton to drop in midfield. I think given the fact that his illness sort of took him out the past couple of games, just to get some minutes in his back in his legs, I was kind of anticipating Szoboszlai to start for Liverpool, in all honesty. But the likes of Jota and Nunes and Harvey Elliott. Elliott, I was expecting. Nunes, maybe. Jota, not so much. I would have thought we would have given him another cameo appearance for Jota, but it turned out to be okay. I think everybody comes out of it unscathed as far as what I'm concerned. I hope I'm right in saying that there was no injuries or any fatigue or anything. But it was right that the likes of McAllister and Diaz stayed on the bench. It was right that the likes of Mohamed Salah and Virgil van Dijk were nowhere near the squad today. A little bit surprised Trent Alexander-Arnold played. But, it turned out to be a fine move. Maybe he was being punished for that dreadful performance he dropped at Manchester United last weekend. But I don't know. But it turned out to be the right move. He was playing he was trying to start off some nice attacks. He was playing some nice balls forward. And of course, he takes his goal exceptionally well as well. So fair play to Trent for leading Liverpool for the most part of the game, before obviously he got substituted later on. Liverpool take the lead through Diogo Jota. We probe away. We don't really get anything. Then an Accrington Stanley free kick turns into an electric counter-attack for Liverpool. Szoboszlai feeds through Trent, feeds through Darwin Núñez. And although Núñez probably should have at least had one goal in the early stages of the game, he does very well to feed through Jota right the way across the face of goal, and Jota makes no mistake from close range in scoring. So 1-0 Liverpool. Like I mentioned, Núñez probably should have had a goal. I'm not going to go too crazy on the guy for the header. I feel like the ball across to him was a little bit behind him, so I think that was a difficult chance. But the snapshot he had, I feel like he should have done better. I feel like Trent makes a great great strike. It's well saved by the goalkeeper. It deflects into the path of Núñez, and his snapshot goes wide. I feel like he should have done better. I think he's finished. I really think he's finished. Obviously, with what happened later on in the game when Jadon Danns comes on, I really do think Danns needs to be given more opportunities. I think he needs to be given the opportunities that Núñez is getting. I just feel like his time is up. If we're really going after Kvaratskhelia, go for him and use Núñez as some sort of counterweight. Money and exchange for Núñez, because I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want to be too negative on like a performance and a result like this. But at the same time, I just don't see a future for him anymore at Liverpool, in all honesty. And I think if we can get Kvaratskhelia, we have something there to potentially bargain with as far as what Darwin Núñez's future is concerned. So, yeah. He gets the assist, but he really should have had a goal as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold makes it 2-0 just before half-time. A very well-worked move down the left-hand side. Works his way over to the right. Szoboszlai tees up Trent Alexander-Arnold, and he fires into the back of the net from outside the penalty area. Very well-taken goal by Trent. Playing with a smile on his face, leading the team. It was nice to see. It was nice to see that occur for him there. Second half, we make some changes. Federico Chiesa, we haven't seen him for a while, makes his appearance in the second half, coming on for Szoboszlai. I imagine that was a tactical thing. I'm hoping it's not an injury thing. Chiesa comes on, and it's great. It's great. 45 minutes of Chiesa was really, really good. He basically tried to shoot every time he had the ball, which I think, given the circumstances, is okay to do. If this was a Premier League game in which we were drawing or even losing by a 0-0 or something, I would be a bit more concerned. But I think in this type of situation and scenario, it was okay for him to somewhat do that pretty much every time. He, of course, hit the post late on, and then, of course, he grabs his goal very late on as well. But before all of that, Jayden Danns gets his goal. Now, very well worked by Danns originally. He wins the ball back well, and then he plays for a nice ball to Chiesa. His shot is saved by the goalkeeper, but the rebound falls kindly to back to Danns, and Danns makes no mistake in tucking in the rebound. Like I say, I think Jayden Danns deserves more game time. I think he deserves more opportunities than what he's currently getting. And like I say, if Núñez is constantly getting opportunities but not performing well, you've got to give Danns an opportunity, in my opinion. The only worst thing for Danns is he's going to be as bad as Núñez, which is going to be telling if he is. But like I say, he seems to be working out pretty well, and every time that I've seen him play, he's particularly impressed. So I think we have to give him an opportunity. I think we have to give him the chance for him to take it, and I don't see why we shouldn't do that, especially with Núñez currently in the kind of form that he's in right now. I think Jayden Danns has stepped up in these kinds of opportunistic moments. I know he's not really had many under Slot, but under Klopp he did, and of course he had that injury that took him out for a while. So Danns, for me, needs to be given more opportunities. He really, really does. And then to wrap it all off, Federico Chiesa, like I say, he had a couple of opportunities that were denied by the goalkeeper. He was denied by the post. And then at like the fourth or fifth time of asking, he finally manages to get his goal. And very well taken goal at that. Right-footed, outside the penalty area, just drills it into the corner. A very well taken goal by the Italian winger, to say the least. And there you have it. That was a story of Liverpool versus Accrington Stanley in the third round of the FA Cup of 2025. Like I say, I don't think Liverpool had it completely their own way, despite what the scoreline may suggest. But at the same time, it was a professional performance from Liverpool. It was a very much needed victory after what has obviously been a tough week in losing to Tottenham in the first leg of the Carabao Cup, drawing to Manchester United last week. We needed to find some form. And like I say, I think as well, we needed to give our main players a rest. So, like I said before, the likes of Salah and Van Dijk getting a rest, McAllister getting a rest, Gravenberch getting a rest, Gakpo getting a rest, all of those players getting a rest for about a week or so before obviously we go and face Nottingham Forest on Tuesday could obviously have big implications later on down the line. So the fact that we could do that, still get the victory and everything as professionally as what we did, yeah, it means a great deal. And like I say, I think some of our fringe players really stepped up today. So hopefully we get to see more opportunities of them later on down the line. Hopefully Federico Chiesa can actually stay fit. Hopefully Jayden Danns can maybe start getting more opportunities instead of Darwin Núñez. I like to see that more and more. And obviously the young kid, Ngoma. I can't remember how you pronounce it now. Jesus Christ, I'm terrible with names. Hopefully, this isn't the last we've seen of him either. So, all in all, very good from the perspective of the young kids in our squad and from our fringe players as well. So, yeah, very much happy with the result, very much happy with the performance. It was professionally done. We are through to the next round of the FA Cup. We wait and see who we get in the next round of the FA Cup. Guaranteed it's probably a Premier League team and a tricky one at that. Maybe like a Brighton or something if they obviously make it through later on today. That we seemingly get like an awkward Premier League club, don't we, at the fourth round. So we shall see how it goes anyway. But yeah, so far so good. First hurdle down in the FA Cup. Several more to go. We shall see how this all plays out. Liverpool 4, Accrington Stanley 0. That's how it finished at the final whistle at Anfield today. And these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Liverpool's 4-0 victory over Accrington Stanley today? What do you make of the performance, the result, and everything else in between? I'd love to know what you guys have to say on all of this. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, down below in the comment section. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. All of these things will be greatly appreciated and never be taken for granted. So thank you guys all for that. Thank you all for watching and listening. Thank you all for your brand new or either continued support. Both very much appreciated. If you are brand new, welcome along to the channel. You guys are awesome. And if you are continuing your support on the channel, thank you all so much for that. You guys are awesome as well. And never be taken for granted and always will be appreciated from you. So thank you all so much for that. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video. And I'll soon speak to you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you again very, very soon.